Okay, in the last segment, I showed you how students might take a simple set of notes like this for a lecture they watch in psychology. In this segment, I want to show you how the students can use the affordances of this system to build out and deepen their knowledge of the subject in ways that I think really are based on principles of integrative learning. Okay. So what you see here is the student is going out. We've sped this up by 3 times or so. The student is going out and they're finding gaps in their notes and they're filling it in. Now, we're looking right here at something pretty simple. They've just taken B.F. Skinner, they've hot linked it, they've added a page there and pulled some very basic information. But this next one's a little more interesting. If you look at this, they're finding this behaviorism was anti-mentalist, and they're turning that into a page where they're going to start collecting quotes, references, any evidence that this is in fact true or that it's not true. And they're going to try to centralize that information on this page. And this makes sense in a number of ways. I mean, the first way, obviously, it makes sense is they're pulling together that information so that they can study it. But the second thing that's going on is the process of putting this together is pushing them to make the sorts of connections between ideas that they have to make in order to truly comprehend some of these ideas. So I'm going to sit back here and let you look at this without talking too much about it. You'll see the student pull in a number of different elements here, but I want you to just sit back and take a look. So one of the things you're starting to see here as we look through this is how important this multi-column interface with the draggable paragraphs is. It really allows students to break out of the sort of linear mode of production that they're used to. Now what you're noticing here is that the student, in this case, is trying to build pages around these ideas of behaviorism. True to Wikiforum, there's a small sentence describing what this idea means, but if you click through, there's going to be more information there. And this gives the student a way to make sure that as they move through the course and deepen their knowledge, they can connect it to the previous things they've learned, right? They have these pages which they can keep coming back to and keep improving, and keep adding more nuance, I think, too. Now, it's interesting. Obviously, this is sped up, right? So we've been here for about 5 minutes. In real life, this would have been about 15 minutes of work. But it's interesting to look at this and see how this has gone from a set of notes that was sort of a disorganized jumble of prompts to something that is actually starting to come together into a coherent narrative about behaviorism, right? Now, I'm not going to lie and say that your students immediately will be able to do this at this level, but I think that this is precisely the medium which shows them what comprehension at this level would look like. This pulling together from multiple sources, this ability to reorganize facts into meaningful narratives. Now here, the student has found a example called Twin Oaks that they've stumbled on, and one of the things I find really interesting here is that the students, when they start to dig more deeply into this, they will be duplicating a lot of each other's work, but each student, I anticipate, will, if they're looking hard enough, find something that the other students will miss. It may even find pieces that the instructor did not know about. And I'm really, part of what I'm really interested in is what happens when that happens at a certain scale. Can the students end up moving from something that's basically production of notes to actually producing something that starts to look like scholarly research? Is there a way that this kind of moves seamlessly from basic exposition of notes to something that's actually much bigger and potentially something with much more impact? But that's it for this here, and I hope you've enjoyed this look at WikiNote production.